Ladies and gentlemen, the chef de jour. Here he is, Art Manji, all excited about this amazing event. January 28th, Bridal Fair. It will be a food fair too. All sorts of great things that you can always enjoy. Listen, I'm hoping that you do have your next wedding here. A number of reasons. You saw what the venue looks like, but when it comes out of his kitchen, it's the best. So give me some of your best, and I'll give you some of my best as far as trending food for wedding menus in 2018.
Night snacks are big. So there you are drinking, parties last until, let's say, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Before you send the drunks home, you put some food out for them to eat.
Or how about our parents? Listen, going to a wedding now. He got me started. Listen, Amy Miller, the incredible talent of the Beaver County Times, our hometown paper, timesonline.com. Paper here, never leave home without it. Wedding couple today. You know, you go to a wedding, 11 o'clock, they're still there. I can hear my mom and dad going, what are they still doing here for? This is when we're supposed to have a couple of drinks and dance. Remember us, 8 o'clock we left. He goes, that's what's wrong with you kids today. You're still here at 11 o'clock at night. You're supposed to be gone on your honeymoon, but no. Bands too. I remember like Jimmy Rubo band. Man, now it's all DJs, which is good, but man, back in the day, a wedding was something in a lot of cases could last 2 or 3 days. New England Hill, they'd have a Polish wedding that went on from, you know, Friday night till Sunday afternoon.
That's true.
All right, what else you got for me?
All right, we got brunch food.
Brunch.
Get married in the middle of the afternoon.
Yep.
And do a nice brunch. The big thing,
How big?
pretty big,
Okay.
is doing an outdoor wedding and doing food trucks.
I saw that, but I didn't want to mention it because I thought Jimmy might get upset if a food truck pulls up in front here at the Club of Shadow Lakes.
I'm surprised. We'll use the back.
But I was right though, didn't I mention about
Mercedes?
Nice.
I'm sorry.
Nice.
Okay. You know, he's hurting, so we got the Mercedes. I didn't say Chevy. Anyway, no, that's the big thing, where you bring in like 4 or 5 food trucks,
Right.
kind of corral them, and let your guests eat that. The other big thing is bubbly bars.
Champagne back.
Not only champagne, but, you know, the Mexican sodas, different teas, different seltzer waters. Lemonade,
right?
You know, all those good things, and putting them out so your guests can help themselves.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Okay.
The bride and groom also doing a little bit of serving to their guests.
I like that. You know, one thing that I really miss at weddings today? Bridal dances. We always, every wedding that I went to, there was a bridal dance, and usually the bride and groom got to go home with a nice little chunk of change, you know, and they don't seem to do that too much anymore.
I haven't seen it done here in a long time.
Maybe they could just hire me out to be the rent-a-groom, not actually the real groom, but just, you know, does the whole bridal dance thing and work for quarters.
There we go.
I like that idea. Hey, appetizers are always a great way. They make a statement. What's your favorite appetizer? If you could have any appetizer, high end, low end, what would it be, Amy?
Anything with shrimp.
Me too. I love shrimp. Do. But how about this? Appetizers such as margaritas and tacos, little pizza squares and wine.
Sure, but whenever you do that, you set an array of garnishes up, like avocado, cucumbers, onions, cilantro, all that kind of pickled good things, so that they can build their own little tacos or little nachos.
Now, we were talking about cakes before we hit the air. That's always a big ticket. I've been a fan of wedding cake from day one. Always liked wedding cake. Would wait for the parents to come home from the wedding. Little slice of cake they would always bring home. I was the first to get it. Absolutely love little Isley's ice cream. Good to go. Naked cakes, as they are known as, without frosting.
Right.
Pretty much not gone, but frosting is back, and special frosting you were talking about.
Well, special cakes.
Oh, okay.
So you have, instead of doing just, you know, how everybody does the plain white with raspberry filling in it or something like that, a lot of cakes are being such things as red velvet, you know, real deep chocolate ones, carrot cake, even the Jello cakes, where I call them Jello cakes, where you put the Jello in it, punch holes in it, and you have that, you know, make a cherry cake or something like that. A lot of more creative cakes instead of the little cupcakes.
Now,
Making the cupcakes in a bigger form.
Yeah. Now, toppers, as I mentioned, no longer the bride and groom, but garland, flowers, and even the couple's name on the cake. I've always admired people that could, with sleight of hand, do that incredible work decorating cakes. So that's a big item, huh? People are going to get to see all this stuff, right?
They are, yeah. They're going to see cakes and cookies and the great food at the Club at Shadow Lakes. They might even see art.
You know,
That's a good reason to get married.
listen, you know you're getting old. I remember back in the day, where's the bridesmaids and the bride? And the closest bar. Now it's show me the cookie table. Listen, you've never been to a wedding unless you've been to one of my family's weddings where there are cookies as far as the eye can see. And they were made by every little grandmother and aunt in the family.
Well, my father used to go to the Italian weddings with the family. And you know how they put the draping all over it? Didn't care to Dad. Dad would walk up there with a dinner plate before and load his plate up with cookies.
Oh.
And nobody would say boo to him. And it would be, oh, it's Uncle Art. It's Uncle Art. They let him go. It was just amazing.
You know, one of the things we didn't talk about, by the way, January 28th, 724-775-3200, extension 133. Please get your tickets. Incredible. $6 general admission with $30 for the VIP ticket and some great food in Mag's restaurant. Going to be a great day. And of course, the wonderful runway show as well. How about coffee? Listen, coffee and cookies and cake are great. And there's so many flavored coffees out there, but if you still have the old traditional Folgers or Maxwell House and a nice piece of china here at the club at Shadow Lakes, that's living large, man. Little cookie, little dunk action.
What we actually do is we set up a coffee station, and you know, we even put out paper cups. So there you are, and you're leaving before the bride and groom does at 11 o'clock. You grab yourself a few cookies and a cup of coffee, and you have sober guests going home.
By the way,
wait guests.
by the way, if I ever do decide to walk down the aisle again, I'll have the nuptials under the golden arches. We'll get a cup of coffee and some McNuggets, and then we're on our way to Niagara Falls.
There we go.
That'll be a great event. Now, how about this? People kind of getting away from green beans and chicken, which I like. Little rigatoni, ravioli, I'm big. Anything with sauce, I'm there, okay? But people are starting to do some comfort food now, and I'm talking like, you know, big, hefty portions of mashed potatoes and meatloaf and pork. What's up with that?
It's comforting. It's like what Mom used to do. It's like, you know, to the bosom. You know what I mean? It's just one of those loving, nurturing kind of things.
I miss those days so much. Anyway, my mom. Listen, nothing says I love you more than a nice meal served here at the Club at Shadow Lakes. Let me just say this. I haven't been to a wedding, but I've been to just about every other function here. And your servers, and that's the whole Maganello clan and all the other great workers, Jimmy, his lovely bride, when they bring out that food and place it on that linen table cloth, I'll tell you, it's a pretty magical experience.
Well, thank you.
And I mean that. And you really do, I think, a better job than anyone. But I got to finish off with some of these foods. How about this? Chicken and waffles, tomato soup, and even mini grilled sandwiches.
Yeah, and buffets. They're getting away from the supposedly snobbish plate up, and they're calling it a little more rustic by using buffets.
Now, I have to ask this, and we'll let you go. I know you're going to get back to the kitchen. What are some of the menu items that you usually serve here at the Club at Shadow Lakes when somebody plans their wedding?
Well, we do tons of different toppings on chicken, from a bruschetta, which would be tomatoes, fresh basil, balsamic syrup, olive oil, that kind of thing, to a Florentine, which is spinach and artichokes and cheese and a little bit of bacon. We do a lot of roast sirloin in a sauce that we make. We do a lot of salmon, little 4-ounce pieces of salmon with a ginger glaze and sesame seeds on it, which really goes real well. We do au gratin potatoes, little au gratin potatoes, roasted potatoes and garlic and butter. A lot of fresh vegetables. Medley is normally the choice because you can pick. You know, Susie comes through and she wants some carrots, and Mildred wants, you know, some asparagus, so she picks that up. So that goes real well. And then, of course, green beans, because it's basic.
A little splash of balsamic vinegar, good to go. Last thing about, as far as instead of cake, guess what else people are doing? Mini pies. Strawberry, peach, blueberry, apple. Mini pies. Different. You can do all of that. Do people do specially made, or do you have a wedding menu?
We have a wedding menu. We have a wedding packet. We have appetizers. We have broken down in chicken, beef, I think vegetarian and seafood. So you can pick it that way. There's different courses if you wanted to, you know, if you wanted to do a shrimp cocktail for everybody, that's on the list.
Now,
and then they can also be custom.
What would be the best way for someone to get in touch, and we'll end on this note, with someone here? What would you say, a year, 6 months? What's your
I think you need to book.
opinion?
I think you need to book over a year out. I really do. To get the place where you want to be, and the church and everything else, you need to be up on top of this at least by a year.
You know, just for those of you who love sporting events, they've got a great lounge here as well, too. And you know, that big game coming up that everybody in Vegas bets on, there's only one other day that they're laying odds more than on that big game day in Las Vegas. You know what it is?
Yeah.
Usually one of my wedding days. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all, you future brides and groom, and believe me, it's still the best way to spend your life with someone else. And of course, the Bridal Fair 2018, January 28th, of course, the club at Shadow Lakes, and the people making it happen for the 17th year, nobody does it better than paper here, the Beaver County Times. Good night.